Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here, and wow, this is not going to end well. And I'm going to share with you a chart in just a minute, guys, that I think is going to scream that when it pops and when this thing just starts to unravel, it's going to unravel quickly and much quicker than what we saw in March. So that's the chart I want to share with you, and I'm really excited to share that and share I can't talk right now and share that chart with you. Before I start, guys, make sure you go down to johnsflashsale.com where I'm still running that $7 flash sale. It's about to end. So go to johnsflashsale.com, grab this $7 trading course and start to get an edge. Especially, guys, if you've been struggling with your trading right now and you've been losing money, video number 1 is going to tell you exactly what mistakes you're going to make, because there's about 13 there. What mistakes you're making and how to, and not only what you're making, but how to overcome them. So johnsflashsale.com. Let's get straight into it, or there should be very first thing in the description as well too for that there. Now, let's get straight into what I'm talking about right now. The first thing that I want to share with you on the Dow, look at this on the Dow Jones. Isn't this really interesting? If I look here on the Dow Jones is really interesting. So if I go to my weekly chart, I can see my band that I've got here on my Dow Jones. If I open up my chart, see how this whole band through here has been a whole level of resistance, right? We have resistance here, we have resistance here, resistance here. Do you see that? And then now we actually had a lot of sort of support level through there as well too. Look what happened here. We dropped down, we rallied right back up, and then we actually, look at this here. We completely rejected it and then broke down. So this is the weekly chart. This whole 27,000 on the Dow on the weekly chart is definitely telling us that this is a major level in the past that has had a lot of problems breaking through. And if it did try to break through, it completely rejected it as well. Now, notice what happened back here. Notice how we actually had a lot of problems here. A lot of problems. Poked its head back above. And once we started the break, I had a little bit of a run. I wouldn't say nice run, but a little bit of a run. And then the whole big CV came out, and and we all know what happened through there, which is exciting, right? This volatility is really exciting. And guys, for me personally, I'm not a bull or bear, I'm a trader. And a lot of people have been saying, John, if you're bearish, wouldn't you want to be trading bearish trades? It's like, no. Or should I say yes? The thing is, like, the answer is yes and no. If I have a trade that's bullish, if I have a trade that sets up that meets my plan that's bullish, I'm going to take it. If it's bearish, I'm going to take it. I just take whatever my system tells me to take. If it's a bullish trade, I'm going to take the bullish trade. If it's a bearish trade, I'm going to take a bearish trade. I'm not going to get in because I think it's a good idea. If my plan says, hey, here's a really nice, good bearish trade, then I'm going to jump onto it. Why? 8, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to make a profit. Why wouldn't I jump on those things? So that's for you guys that are wondering how I trade the markets. I have a simple trading setup that I trade. And if it's a bullish setup, then I trade it. I don't care what the S&P or Dow are doing. And if it's a bearish setup, I trade it. I don't have any weight. So moving on to the Dow Jones now, look what's happening here on the shorter term time frame. If I have a look over, say, the last sort of, let's go to the last sort of six months or so, you can see what's happened here. So we have this point through here. We have this point through here. We have this point through. Look what's happening right now. See, remember this band through here is indeed the resistance level. We broke down through here. We come back up. Now we're on the underlying side of this trend line here, and we're making small bars. If indeed this week we start to roll over through here and we break this 2,500 level, we're probably likely to see a drop back down to, say, I reckon, I would say around the 22,000 level there, maybe even around at least the 23,000. But I believe if we do start to see that, we're now starting to get this high, lower high. If we create some sort of small little lower high and we start to break down and then break past 25,000, we're likely to get a big flush down through there. So that's what I'm saying through there. Now, the one chart that I definitely say that this is not going to end well is, let me squeeze this chart up once again, and I'm going to go to the Nasdaq. This Nasdaq chart is just on a steaming run to the upside, and every single bubble that you will see has 1 thing in common. We see vertical action in the markets. If you don't know much about the market or don't know much about the stock market or any market in general, what happens is this: is that if the market goes up too much without any real decent pullback, well, now it's think about it as an energy source. Okay, so think about it as when the market is making a very big move to the upside, it's using a lot of energy. But if it keeps going, 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 and then suddenly what happens is the energy just completely runs out, and then you crash. Like when you go to the gym. If you go to the gym and you're working out and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're tired and you're exhausted and you're pushing 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 and you're just totally going for it, what's likely to happen probably the next day? You're probably like, oh my goodness, I feel like I've been just run over by a train. And so then the market has a bit of a cooling off period. So the more that this continues to go on, the worse it's going to be. So this whole thing here with the Nasdaq, I don't care who's behind this, it's not going to end well, period. Oh, John, but the Fed's behind it. The Fed's not going to let this market drop down. It's called $20 trillion of printing money. Yeah, really? What happened here? Or what the Fed didn't? The Fed just let the market drop today? Oh my goodness! If you think that the Fed is not going to let this market drop, guys, look at the market from the facts of the reality of what it really is, right? So if we see this market from here, from 9,000 down to 7,000, we had a hammering down move. Back here in 2018, look at this here, we had a very big drop down. So what I'm saying here is that please don't position yourself in these markets thinking, well, the Fed's just going to keep printing money and keep propping this market up. It's never going to go down. Please, guys, are you that stupid? Seriously, if you think that the Fed's going to keep doing that, what is the Fed doing actually right now? If you go look at charts, they're what? They're starting to tighten, right? They're starting to, instead of printing, it looks like they're starting to unwind some of the money that they're starting to tighten back up again. And you'll see that through, I'll bring up some other charts a bit later on, but you'll start to see that, okay? So please do not be trying to trade this market and go, I'm going to go in right now because the market is, there's so many traders. And if you're brand new to the markets, guys, please just step back for 1 or 2 or 3 days or 1 week or 2 weeks and go look back in history. Go look back in history and tell me what happens when we start to see very big move like that. Now, yes, we can continue like that, but more times than not, when we do this, we don't know when this is going to end, but when it does, we get a very sharp pull down. My case in point is that look what happened last time the Nasdaq was in this here. If I draw a trend line from there to there, see the angle of this move up from the ultimate low to ultimate high point. That's the angle. If I draw my angle now from the ultimate high to ultimate low, which one is more steeper? Which one is more on a steeper level? You have number one, this one here, and number two, right? So number two is obviously steeper. What does that mean? If this was a bit of a short-term bubble, which it was, that happened. If this is now another bubble, and even more of a steeper bubble, what's likely to happen, right? And so if we continue up through here, it's going to be disastrous, and people are going to lose so much money. And so that's the reason why I wanted to do this video for you, to say, listen, if you are loading up, especially in the Nasdaq right now, or any markets thinking that the Fed is going to just keep printing and printing and printing and propping this market up, guys, please don't be shocked when suddenly we start to sell off, because right now the Fed is tightening and they haven't actually been doing a lot of printing right now. And so probably what will happen over the next couple of months, you'll see that over the next, say, month or so, you'll see the stock market pull back a bit. Then they'll come back with some more printing. They'll start to print even more money then. It's more, as Ray Dalio says, it's more like a reflation in the market. So I hope that helps you out there, guys. Please don't get involved with this here. Just step back, be patient, wait for some really nice trading setups. Now you say, John, what is a good trading setup? Well, that's obviously the reason why I've got this trading course. Here's I'm plugging the trading course at $7, but you get two amazing trading systems. What a nice setup looks like is there's a lot of good trading setups out there. Just pick one and follow it. Don't be gambling right now, because the worst thing you can do right now is try to think that you know what's going to happen and try to jump in and say, well, the Fed's not going to let this market drop, because it will go down, especially the Nasdaq. When the Nasdaq starts to really unwind, this vertical bubble in the Nasdaq is going to be deadly.